4 months in a row now. The outplacement firm Challenger, Gray & Christmas has tracked one single reason as the most cited cause of layoffs in America. Artificial intelligence. Company after company, blaming AI in the press release. Nearly 50,000 jobs cut this year with AI named as the reason. Microsoft cutting 9,000 roles. Oracle down 21,000 employees over 12 months. It reads like exactly the future everyone has been afraid of. And then there is one number buried in a Gallup survey that does not fit that story at all. Only 1% of laid-off workers actually say AI or automation was the reason they personally lost their job. So which is it? Is AI actually taking jobs at scale? Or is something else happening here? Let us sort the signal from the noise. Let us get the real numbers on the table first. Because they are genuinely significant even before we get to the twist. AI has been cited as a factor in roughly 50,000 job cuts this year. About 17% of all announced layoffs tracked so far in 2026. Tech and finance specifically have been losing around 28,000 jobs a month. And multiple companies have explicitly named AI in their public reasoning. GitLab cut about 14% of its staff, explicitly to fund AI infrastructure investment and handle a surge in AI-driven workflow traffic. Oracle's own filings say adoption of AI technologies contributed to its headcount reductions. This part is not noise. Real companies are citing AI in official filings and public statements as a factor behind real job cuts at a scale that has grown every single month this year. So where does the 1% number come from? And why does it look so different? Gallup surveyed the workers themselves, the people who actually lost their jobs, and asked them directly why they think they were let go. And only 1% pointed to AI or automation as the reason. That is a massive gap between what companies say in press releases and what the people living through the layoffs actually believe happened to them. And that gap is the real story here. Companies have every financial and narrative incentive to cite AI as the reason for a layoff, even when the underlying cause is something less flattering, like ordinary cost cutting, a slowing market, or a restructuring that had nothing to do with any algorithm. AI is now, quite literally, the most convenient thing to blame. It sounds forward-looking instead of like failure. Meanwhile, the workers who actually got cut mostly do not experience it that way at all. They experience it as a normal, unexplained layoff, same as workers have experienced for decades. Here is the version of this story that fits both sets of numbers at once. Because they are not actually contradictory if you read them carefully. Companies are genuinely spending enormous amounts of money on AI infrastructure right now. That spending is real and it is large. Some of that spending is being funded by cutting headcount elsewhere, which is a real, indirect effect of the AI build-out. GitLab said this explicitly. Cutting staff specifically to fund AI infrastructure investment. That is a real AI-caused layoff. But the cause is the cost of building AI, not AI directly automating anyone's specific job. At the same time, in a slower hiring market, citing AI as the reason for a workforce reduction is a much better headline than admitting a business unit underperformed. So some fraction of that 50,000 number is almost certainly narrative dressing on an ordinary cost cut. Gartner's own research adds another layer, projecting more than 40% of agentic AI projects will actually be cancelled by the end of 2027, due to cost, unclear value, and weak risk controls. If you are worried about your own job, here is the calibrated version of this story, not the scary headline version. Direct, one-to-one replacement, a task you personally did. done entirely by an AI agent with your job then eliminated, is still genuinely rare. That 1% number backs that up. What is far more common, and far more relevant to you, is roles shifting because company spending priorities shifted toward AI infrastructure and away from other budgets, which is an indirect economic effect, not a direct capability replacement. The practical response is the same one this channel keeps landing on. Learn to use agentic tools well enough that you are the person directing them, not competing against them. Because in every sector so far, being the person who effectively manages AI output is proving far more durable than being a person doing the exact task an agent could eventually approximate. Quick recap. Companies are citing AI as the top reason for layoffs for 4 straight months, in real filings and press releases. But the workers who actually lost their jobs mostly do not believe AI was the real reason. Only 1% do. Some of this is a genuine, indirect effect. AI infrastructure spending pulling budget from other places. Some of it is companies finding AI a more flattering explanation than ordinary cost cutting. So, signal or noise? Split verdict. And an important one. The AI infrastructure spending shift is signal. It is real and it is reshaping company budgets. The idea that AI is now directly, at scale, automating people out of their specific jobs is mostly still noise. At least based on what the affected workers themselves report. Do not let the scariest headline number set your anxiety level. Check what the people actually living it say happened. Subscribe for the numbers checked before they get repeated as fact. Signal from the noise. Every week.